Personally, I think that Greek art and culture can reflect who we are today, but there's some aspects of it that definitely does not align with who we are now. For example, I'm talking about the more fantastical and mystical creatures like the centaurs, the minotaurs, the cyclopes. They just wouldn't be considered relevant today and even imaginary. And for example, the pottery that was depicting Artemis and Apollo slaying Niobe's children, that would definitely not be considered acceptable today. Definitely wouldn't be considered a normal reaction to someone bragging about how they can birth more children than somebody else. I also noticed that a lot of these sculptures had a heavy emphasis on trying to craft a true human warrior, but I feel like nowadays art can be interpreted in many different ways, and all will be considered valid. But that does not mean that some aspects in Greek and art culture aren't still relevant today, because I noticed that there are still some techniques that are being used. We see it in the demand of making heavily proportionate structures, such as in the Parthenon temple. And I believe that pottery is still extremely relevant today, whether people are making them or possessing them in fashion similar to Greek pottery methods. I'm not quite sure if the black figure technique and the red figure technique are still being used, but I do know that pottery is still relevant nonetheless.